I wanted to talk about a conversation I had with a friend that is very similar to me. And I don't think it's an accident that she's my friend. Not at all. As far as similarities go, I've never found someone as similar as me, as her, in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. Just to give you a hint, I told her that I watched Dragon Ball Z, and I feel guilty. I should, it's childish stuff. She's like, you shouldn't feel guilty for that at all. No joke. She's like, so many people do that kind of thing. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. She's like, I watched My Little Pony. Hopefully she doesn't mind me exposing it. She watches My Little Pony every night before she goes to bed. Kind of like me watching Dragon Ball Z almost every night. It gives me peace in this dark world. It does. It does. She says the same thing. I was like, holy cow. I've never found someone that similar to me. Like that. No joke. She's the one that told me to, you have to talk to the normal humans a certain way. You have to talk to them a certain way. And she told me today that the medications that they give us is to dull us down, dumb us down for the rest of society's sake. So I can't be my true self. She knows I'm not being my true self. I'm not. I told her if I'm my true self, they'll lock me up so quick it'll make your head spin. If I'm my true self. No joke. My true self is pretty awesome, but they'll lock me up. And this is what we talked about. This is what I thought about. If I was ever my real self in all its glory, my real self, this is what I thought would happen. She knows that most of the earth, humans, are not like us. She's correct. And I've known this for a long time now. They're not like us. Growing up, I thought, in my mind, I'm like, I couldn't comprehend why people didn't think like me. And they weren't like me. No matter what I did or tried to make them see things my way, they didn't. And now I know why. Because I'm very different. I am. She's like, from day one, I knew you weren't from here. From day one. She knew from day one. The first time she met me, she knew I wasn't from this earth. Immediately. She knew I wasn't one of the humans on this earth. From this earth. Walking around. I'm like, yeah, no matter what I do, I've never felt at home here. It's true. All these decades, I've never felt at home here. Never. Except for when I'm watching Dragon Ball Z. I feel right at home. Except for that. But that's not living in the real world. Other than that. And she's the same way. She's never felt at home here either. But we were sent here for some reason. We both said, send me, Jesus. We both said that or something. Send me. We both did that. We volunteered, basically, to come here. She's like, it's to raise the vibration, whatever that means. I'm like, what does that even mean? Raise the vibration. What does that even mean? No one even knows what that means. How do you raise the vibration? What does that even mean? So she tried to explain it to me. So maybe as I walk this road, trying to improve and ascend, I'm raising the vibration. I don't know. Whatever that means, I don't know. I just call it an ascension road on a narrow path of some kind. That's what I call it. But she's like, it takes all of us to do it, to raise it, not just you. She knows I've been trying to do it myself, by myself. Change this whole world myself. By changing myself, I change the whole world. It's science. The ripple effect. If I change myself, it'll change the whole planet. You know what I mean? But she said something that was interesting. And I'm still thinking about it. Because I've thought about this for a lot of my life. She's like, what happened in the X-Men movies when the humans found out about the X-Men? I'm like, I know exactly what. They tried to control them. They tried to enslave them. They tried to do experiments on them. They tried to, you name it. They tried to cure them. No joke. Sometimes I forget who I really am. I'm a mutant of society. I am. God knows it. I looked at an X-Men shirt today. I'm like, I need to remember who I really am. I need to remember who I really am. No joke. Sometimes I forget and I try to be like the humans on the planet. I'm not. I can't be like the humans on the planet. I need to remember who I really am. But I've always, I told her this straight up. I've always been afraid of the real humans that actually figure out who we are for real. No joke. She's like, do they know that we're different? Do they know that? She's like, if they're in competition with us and they can't beat us, basically, they can't beat us in any competition. They can't. No joke, they can't beat us. We're endurance freaks. We are. We go on and on and on. No joke. If we can outlast a psychopath, we can outlast anybody. You know what I mean? No joke. My name is. But yeah, that's what I always feared. It is. From like even 10 years ago. If the normal humans of the planet found out who we are, they'd lock us up. No joke. Who we actually are. They'd lock us up. I'm not even joking. If they found out we had gifts, abilities of any kind, like I assume God put gifts within me. If they found out my true gifts, they'd lock us up. I know they would. They'd lock us up. They crucified Jesus, for hell's sake. They're going to lock us up. Not even Jesus survived their wrath on their crucifixion. Not even Jesus survived these people on the planet. Not even he did. God bless him. God bless him. Someone hated more than me. God bless him. You know? But one of the Christians could tell that there was a countenance change in my face. A countenance change. He could tell from the first time he met me. Jesus is working. Jesus is working, my friends. He is. He's doing his work on his work. He is. He's changed my countenance totally. And I can feel it as well. No joke. Don't you worry, my friends. We have Jesus on our side, it seems. Still, we still do. We have Jesus at least. It seems like some ally out there helping us, it seems like. But anyway, enough about that. Even I can't deny the abilities that have changed me for the better so far. Even I can't explain it. There's someone working on me that is insanely intelligent. No joke. He's like, yeah, he created you. I'm like, it seems like he knows how to mold me because he created me. He knows how to. Scary. Scary. No joke. But anyways, enough about Kakarot. Enough about him. This is my story. This is my story and his story at the same time. He's within me. He's a part of me. He is. That's another thing I talked to a friend about. The essence of Kakarot, Jesus, is within me. It is. No joke. It's a true statement. The essence of my Creator is within me. It is. That's a true statement. He did that for some reason. He didn't just make me some random human with no conscience out there. He put an essence of himself in me. He did. No joke. But anyways. I told my friend, the friend that's similar to me, I told her, I'm like, it's rough living on my own. It is. And I couldn't figure out why. I should be doing fantastic. No abusers around me. Nothing. I should be doing fantastic. That's what I told her. She's like, I learned I don't do well. I didn't do well on my own by myself either. She's a lot like me. And I'm like, why? Why didn't you do well? She's like, when I was around family and stuff, I had the motivation to cook meals for them, do stuff for them, But when she was by herself, it didn't matter what she ate, just eat whatever. Doesn't matter what clothes she wore, just wear whatever. I'm the same way when I'm alone. I don't care what I eat. I've never come across someone like me like this. This was no accident. I've come across someone that's like me. It's almost like I'm like staring myself in the mirror, but in female form. No joke. It was interesting. She's like, yeah, I never have intelligent conversations with anybody. I'm like, do you consider this what we're having as intelligent conversations? She's like, yes. Nice. Nice. I'm one of the intelligent ones on the planet, apparently. It was funny how she was like, how she has to dumb herself down around every other person on the planet. Like she's talking to bamboons, throwing poop at each other. That's how she sees trying to dumb herself down to their level. But she's like, yeah, if they figured out about us, like, it's so crazy that she said this because I always feared this. If the regular humans of the planet figured out about us, people like us, our kind, basically, the X-Men of society, like I always said, with abilities and gifts and stuff. If the regular humans found out about us, they'd lock us up, put experiments on us. They would lock us up. They would. They'd fear us. They would. Could you imagine if I was actually doing greater works of Jesus in front of everybody? In front of everybody, doing greater works than Jesus, like it says in the Bible. Like Jesus apparently wants me to eventually. They would lock me up so fast. I know it. I'm not sure what those greater works are. But hopefully, by the time it's that time to do it, no one can stop it. No one can stop it. Hell yeah. Too late. Too late. Only God knows the greater work. When it's time, my friends. But another thing I talked to her about was the vengeance of God. Because that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where God has left me at right now, is the vengeance thing. Because it talks about God's vengeance. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, all that. And she said something interesting to me. She's like, what counts? What counts for all the things you have to not do or do to not get God's vengeance on you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't even know if God would get his vengeance on me right now. I don't know. I'm like, I'm surprised he hasn't got his vengeance on me yet. She's like, I believe in this unconditional loving God. I'm like, I do too. But despite knowing this unconditional loving God, I always suspected there was a vengeful part of him. There was. I always suspected. I did. You can be unconditionally loving. Even part of the unconditional love is the vengeance. Taking people out is an act of mercy. It is. No joke. There was a time when if a God took me out, it would have been merciful. 100%. If he would have took me out at some points in my life, like like I wanted him to. So merciful. So that's what I was thinking about. That can be part of the unconditional love, is the vengeance, is part of unconditional love. No joke. No joke. If not even Jesus' love could change the narcissist, he's got to wipe them out. He has to. Their real selves are too far gone, even for Jesus, it seems like. Maybe. I don't know. I know I couldn't change the narcissist. Over decades, I couldn't change them. They're still the same to this day, bro. Still thinking they're perfect out there, and I'm still the problem, No joke. They're still doing a smear campaign on me to this day, bro. No joke. But anyways, because a lot of people are like, love can't change the narcissist. And they're right, it can't. That's insane. Real love can't change the narcissist. Jesus knew this. His love could not change them. Even his love couldn't change them. If his love can't change the narcissist, my love can't change the narcissist. They have to be too far gone, way too far gone to even be incapable of receiving the love of Jesus. Jesus is like, I know they're too far gone, probably too far taken over. Wipe them out. No, I don't know. Only God knows these things. Only He knows these things. That's why I leave up these kind of things to Him. I leave up these kind of things to Him. The vengeance stuff, that's His stuff. That's His arena. That's His arena. Used to be my arena, not anymore. Mainly because I'm assured that God will get vengeance for me. Everybody that targeted me, God will get vengeance for me in some way. I got reminded of that earlier on my path. I did. I remember that. He's like, don't get vengeance. Vengeance is mine. I'm like, all right, you better back it up. You better back it up someday. You better back it up someday, Jesus. That vengeance is yours. I don't know. But yeah, I still have questions to this day. I still do. Like I said, my friends know that the fact that I don't know the full truth yet bothers me. It bothers me. I'm a truth guy. I am. You know how the scapegoats are truth tellers, truth seers? I'm a truth guy. I am. It bothers me that I don't know the full truth of things. I don't. And I admit, I still don't know if the full Bible is true or not. I don't know. 2 times in today, 2 people gave me examples of how the Bible conflicts itself. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, it conflicts itself. I'm like, maybe it does. I notice that it's almost like it's a different God, in a way, for sure. So it's interesting. So did men make God different to suit their needs? Did they make God different to suit the men's needs? Maybe. Maybe they did. I will say, despite that, whatever the men did or tried to do to make the Bible suit them, to control people for whatever reason, I always assumed that Jesus was real. I always assumed that. I don't know how I always knew that, but I always assumed that Jesus was legit despite whatever men tried to do to wreck the Bible. No joke. It's almost like God put that knowledge within me. He also put the knowledge that I knew that I was in a fake religion, and a Christian pointed that out to me. I'm like, somehow I knew I was in a fake religion at a young age. He's like, that was God right there. That was God right there. Because it is a fake religion. No joke. That was God right there. And I just listened to it. And me and that Christian talked about how Mormonism is like a highly sexualized religion, with polygamy and God's a polygamist and all that nonsense, And it made me think, because at the same time they're against you, against sex, but at the same time they're totally for sex. It's confusing. Many wives, basically, confusing. And I'm like, when I was a kid, I'm like, that's a weird thing for a God to be, is a polygamist. I thought that as a kid. I'm like, that's a weird ass thing for God to be a polygamist. No joke. I'm like, I don't want that many wives. Not even close. I don't want that many wives. I barely even want one wife. Do you see any wife around me? I barely want one. No joke. But anyway, it's a hard road. After exiting a cult, it is. It's a hard road. It is. Trying to make it on your own forever seems like mostly on your own is tough when you don't even like living on the planet in the first place. I don't even like living it on the planet in the first place. My friend's like, you hate it here so much that every time you go to sleep, you astral travel or something like that. She's probably right. I probably just astral travel out there, try to find Jesus myself. In the universe, I'm like, try to find him. I'm like, I can find you, my friend. You're hiding behind the solar system of Vega or something. I'll find you, my friend. I don't know. Religion messed up so many things. That's why this is a hard ass. It's a hard quest. It is to find the real truth. It's a hard quest. It is. Because even if you determine that Jesus is legit, there's still more truth to be learned. There is. And that's why I'm on this road still. There's more truth to be learned. Even when you determine Jesus' legitimacy, there's more truth to be learned still, And I've always wondered why the astrology stuff sometimes makes sense to me. But, the Christians say that stuff is evil. Why does it make sense? Like, some of the stuff about it makes sense. That's what confuses me, too. How could it know some things? The astrology stuff, the signs and all that. And it's totally demonic. I don't know. That's another test to be had. That's another test. I'm still walking. You know what I mean? But my friend that was talking to me, she's like, I'm like, people think that the energy stuff is demonic. But people say I have energy. And I think I do have energy. I'm a being of energy and light. As my best friend always said. And she's like, yeah, I knew you had energy though. When I first met you, you had energy coming out. And she's like, I knew you weren't from this earth. But does that mean I'm evil? I don't know. I don't know. God talks about the light in the Bible. He talks about the light, so I don't feel so bad. He talks about light at least. Not energy, but light, at least. So, there's that. There's that, the light thing. It's hard to find the truth when you know you have energy, you know, and you know that there's energy vampires out there. It's hard to find the truth still. You know, it is. That's what's confusing. Like people say the energy stuff is evil, but I have energy. You know what I mean? It's interesting. But I feel like Jesus may have been a being of light and energy when he was on the earth. Maybe. I don't know. I think so. And the energy suckers target him. The Pharisees target him and crucify him. The energy suckers crucify him. Maybe. I don't know. This is my take. I don't know. It's confusing. If you ever tried to find the real truth and you're an energy person, I feel for you. Being called evil all the time. Being called evil all the time. You're an energy, you're a being of energy. You're evil, apparently. I know what that feels like. So, but I don't think this is an accident. It's like God's trying to show me the synchronicity of being a being of light and energy and the Christian road. There's a connection. I think that's what God's trying to show me. I'm not joking. There's a connection to me being the light and energy and the Christian path. It is like something. There's like a connection. No joke. The narrow path of what Jesus is talking about. And being a being of light and energy. Like it says in the Bible, light. God separated the light from the darkness and saw that the light was good. Being of light. So, I don't know. All I know is I'm not from this earth. All I know, that's all I really know. I'm not from this earth. I know that much. Whether I'm a star seed or I'm from where God's from, either way, I ain't from here. And I've never felt like I'm been home anywhere. I've never been at my real home, in my opinion, in a long time. My real home, probably where Jesus is right now. My real home, where he's at right now. That's where I'm from. I don't know. But anyways. It's hard to keep going when you thought you'd be at a certain point in your life, in a certain condition in your life, but you're not really where you thought you would be in all areas. But you're required to keep going because your body keeps breathing. So I'm like, dang it. Even though I'm not where I thought I'd be. I have no choice but to keep going. I have no choice. God knows it. I have no choice but to keep on going. But anyways, that's all I'll say for this video. Maybe I'll watch X-Men tonight. I haven't watched X-Men in a while. I swear I looked at an X-Men shirt today. And I'm like, why did I even try to be a regular human? Even try? I forgot who I really am. I forgot who I really am. I'm an X-Men with gifts and abilities within me. I am. God knows it as well. I'm an X-Men of some kind. Something. abilities greater work than Jesus. With his help. With his help. Jesus is like, I know you have abilities that you don't even know yet. Jesus knows that because he created me. Jesus put abilities within me. He did. I know he did. Abilities I haven't discovered yet. He's like, I know I put stuff in you. I have abilities. So I'm like, all right. But I need to get some rest. I told her, I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting rest. Because I astral travel, apparently. I don't get real rest. So I took a melatonin tonight, you know. Hopefully that helps. The melatonin that I used to take back in the day to help me sleep. All I gotta say, it's rough on this planet. For those of us that are not from here, it's rough. Every day is rough. If you don't belong here, it's rough. It is. And I'm like, every night, I hope God takes me in my sleep to get me off the planet. She's like, it ain't that easy. I'm like, I know it's not that easy. I'll wake up tomorrow. My track record says I'll wake up tomorrow. My track record speaks for itself. I ain't gonna die tonight. Not until I do my purpose. I ain't gonna die until I do my purpose. Scare the masses. Maybe. Who knows? I have a feeling God will excite things. He will. If I keep trying to walk this road like I am, he'll keep exciting it. He will. He'll make it exciting. Like Dragon Ball Z exciting. You know what I mean? Hopefully. That's why I'm here. To be a warrior on the battlefield. Dragon Ball Z. But on this earth. On this earth. Be a warrior. But yeah, that's what I told her. I'm like, if I ever tried to be my real self, expose my true self to the masses. And she's like, it's okay to hide yourself from most of the people. She knows it. If I'm my real self around the regular humans, if I'm my real self, in full force, my real self, they'd lock me up so fast. They would. They would be like, he's not one of us. He's not one of us. He's a freak of nature. He's not one of us. Yep, they're right. I'm not. So much so not like them that I'm like, I willingly turn myself in. No joke. I willingly turn myself in. Because I'm not like you guys. And I know you lock me up because I'm not like you guys of the planet. This whole planet's an insane asylum. It is. It is, you know. I don't see a difference between being locked up and out in the real world. I don't see a difference. It's an insane asylum. Either way. It is. I'm like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Where I am. But anyways. That's all I'll say for this video. I need to get some rest. I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of. That's another thing she was telling me. I need to learn to balance things and learn how to take care of myself better. I do. Instead of just being more of a giver than a receiver, like Jesus was. You know, I'm trying to be like Jesus. He was more of a giver than a receiver. He was. I'm trying to be like him at the cost of my own life and health, like he did. Because he ain't better than me. If he gave up his life for the people, so will I. So will I. But he doesn't want that. So I'm trying not to die for the people. I'm trying to stay afloat. Stay above ground.